name's Aditi. In this video, I want to talk about creativity. Specifically, all that was gate kept for me. What I mean is, no one ever tells you how accessible being artistic and being creative is. It's so innate for someone that's already creative, they don't think about it, second nature. These tidbits I'm about to go through is helpful for someone that doesn't even know where to start. First, I want to start off with defining creativity. Anything that you can bring to life. Anything where you are putting your own spin to things. Photography, painting and drawing, making music, writing, making rugs, videography, making clothes, really just bringing things to life. I consider that creative. So the first one goes into something I previously talked about, but it's about creativity being a muscle. It's something that you have to be bad at first in order to even be remotely good. I remember even the friends that I had that were drawing, they weren't good in the beginning. I never told them, but they weren't great at all. And now they're amazing. It took stages for them to get to where they are now. If you find you're interested in something, stick with it, and day by day, you're gonna see the progress. In years, all of that compounds, all of that adds and builds together, and soon you become so great at this one thing, and it's so beautiful. But I never took the time to realize that creativity is a muscle. It's something you have to practice. This next one is so interesting for me, but I really think that everyone is born creative, okay? As kids, you want to explore and learn everything. You have this curiosity and you just want to figure things out, take things apart, put things together, draw, color, draw on walls. Like, there are no rules, right? And then as you get older, there start to be these rules of like, oh, you need to be this, you need to do this. If you're born creative, you're born with like just this beautiful curiosity, I do believe you can get it back. It takes time. But think about the things when you're younger that you gravitated towards naturally. As I started becoming more creative myself and I started to look at kids and I'm like, look at them, they're just doing the thing. Like, there are literal kids on the internet and people are in shock. They're like, wow, this kid made an amazing song. The kid is not held back by all these beliefs and like all these fears of like, wow, I need this to go somewhere. The kid is just having fun. The next little tidbit I have is so obvious, but when you're creating things, you're creating things. You're bringing things to life that has never been brought to life ever before. That is so cool to think about. Like, you are one person. No one will ever be born like you with your exact experiences, your exact influences and inspirations and what makes you you. And then you're creating something based on the experiences you've had. You're literally creating something that is so uniquely you, it has never been created before. Like, just you being you makes it special. And I just think that's such a cool concept. Whatever it is, you made your mark no matter what. It doesn't matter how big it gets. It could be like, it could have reached an audience of 5, but it's out into the world and you can never take it back. The next one is what you create is a reflection of yourself. You have these unique experiences, these unique ideas, you've grown up a certain way. Everything that is you will show up in what you create, but you have to kind of know yourself for that to happen. Who I am shows up in what I create. But it makes it so much easier to create knowing who I am. The next one is so big for me. There is a guaranteed audience for your style of art. You just have to find them. And if they're not out there yet, they will be. Create what is true to you and you will find that audience. Like, there are so many different types of art out there. There's so many different types of music, videography, photography. You might not know who that audience is yet. They might not even know who they are yet, but there is an audience for what you create. Do you know how many people there are out there? There's no way that not a single person wouldn't like it. Okay, wait, whoa, a lot of double negatives there. But there's no way that out of all the people on this planet that nobody would like it. There's somebody out there that will love your art. Whatever it is, there's an audience out there for your art. So keep creating, and you will find that audience, okay? The next one is super simple, but in order to be creative, you just need to create. I think this kind of ties back into one of my previous points, but you create, and then you are creative because you are creating. Yeah? We'll keep that one brief. I guess all of these are really big to me, but this one's also really important to me. You should be your #1 audience. Would you be interested in seeing that art piece on your wall? Would you be interested in reading that story? Would you be interested in listening to that song on the radio? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. The only thing you need to worry about is how does it sound like to you? It's fine if you're a perfectionist, whatever, but you need to like it. And as long as you like it, there is one person in the world that likes it. And honestly, that's good enough for me. At the end of the day, having just one person like it, and that being me, is fulfilling enough. From there, if other people like it, beautiful. I'm grateful for anything else that comes along. If I appreciate it, that is all that matters. So be your number one audience for whatever creative pursuit you are trying to pursue. The next one I have is creating daily in small bits is not valued enough. People always think when you create, it has to be this big thing. It needs to be like this whole project or even just an entire piece. What about like a tiny doodle or like one little melody or, you know, one paragraph? If you do that every day, every other day, I feel like that builds faster in terms of, you know, upping your foundation, your creativity. I just think that people underestimate how powerful small changes every single day, like how it can compound. It's so nice to be able to do what you like doing on a micro scale rather than always on a macro scale. I imagine that if I liked drawing, it would be so fun to have like a book of like daily doodles. Like that would just be so cool. And at the end of the year, I get to see how I'm feeling every single day. This next one I realized a couple months ago, as I've been making more and more like rugs and such, I've been pulling from different mediums. You know, like you start to notice that you can take inspiration from anything. It can be from life. It can be the patterns of like the leaves or like a tattoo artist. There's like some like designs or style that this tattoo artist did that I love so much. I'm like, how can I kind of transpose that and make that my own in this different medium, but like add my own colors and whatnot. Like I like this idea, but I want to make it my own, etc., etc. But you start to kind of take different ideas from different parts of your life together. You know, it can be something you hear on the radio or something you see in the bathroom at a bar. Because I'll take some of these little nuggets of inspiration and I'll kind of draw it out and then I'll just kind of combine it. And you just start to look at the world a little more differently. The next one is, it's so daunting to know that there are no rules, but it's also so exciting to know that there are no rules. And yes, many people are like, you have to know the rules before you break them. Okay, yes, you know, but like when you make music, there was like a point where I was frozen for like months where I was like, I don't know where to start. Like people are like, oh, I don't know where to finish. I didn't even know where to start. It was daunting, but that's also exciting. So instead of looking at it as something that's scary, which it still is a little bit, I've decided to see it as something that's exciting. Like, wow, I actually have the ability to create anything. Knowing that there are no rules is daunting at first, and then it becomes exciting. The last one that I have is that learning one art form translates to others. I've had music through many different points of my life. I've just started doing art. But there are things that connect in a certain way. Like in music, there's music theory, and color, there's color theory. You know, in music, there's like crescendos, right? Like it's loud and then soft, and like you can like accentuate the louds by making other things soft or like by removing or adding. But in a way, that is the same in art. You know, like you can make things stand out by having the other colors fade. In art, you know, when I'm creating something, I'm like, okay, if I want this to pop out a little more, well, I want the other colors to kind of be lighter. You know, it translates in a different way. But all these different concepts, they're all similar. And once you learn it in one area, it becomes easier to kind of apply it to a different area. I think the last thing I'm gonna say is you have to believe you're part of the space. As long as you know and you believe you belong, you belong. I'm not so into the art community at all where it's like, they'll be like, oh, this isn't art. Like, I imagine that could happen though. I imagine that there are people out there that are very traditional, like, oh, this isn't art, but these sketches are art, but digital art isn't art. Like there's debates in every community for every single reason, but if you believe you are an artist, you are an artist. If you believe you are creative, you are a creative. But these were all things that I didn't have any idea of before I started. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this if you are just starting off in your journey of being a creative person, an artistic person. I really enjoyed making this. Let me know in the comments what you would like me to talk about next. And then, yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye! Mwah.